This is Gail Kovac with Gresham Barlow School District. This is Summer School High School Credit Recovery for Data Reasoning, and we're on Learning Target number 3. I can design a random assignment method for an experiment. So we just looked at surveys, and surveys do not impose any kind of treatment. We just kind of walk up to people and ask, hey, what's going on with you? I want your data. In an experiment, however, you're trying to imply causation. You want to see if one thing affects change in another thing, in which case you are imposing a treatment. You are changing something about a situation to see if it has changed results. So here I'd like to design a random assignment method for an experiment to answer the following question: does consuming an energy drink decrease reaction time? And reaction time is how fast you respond to something, like if someone throws a ball at you and you catch it or something like that, or you're typing really fast. So does it make that time less, which means you're faster? So does consuming an energy drink make you faster? So what we don't want to do, because it's going to introduce bias into your results or swayed results, is walk up to someone and say, hey, I would like to see if you drink this energy drink if you're going to be faster, because I bet you are. So let's see how fast you are now. Oh yeah, kind of slow. Okay, now drink this and let's wait a little while, and oh my gosh, let's see how fast you are now, right? And then oh my gosh, you're going so fast. Like, listen to my voice and what I'm saying. I'm like, power of suggestion is huge in experiment results. So what we would like to do in our design is introduce as much blinding as possible. Blinding you can't see. That means that the subject that you are performing the experiment on does not know what the experiment's about, doesn't know if they're getting a treatment or not, or they kind of just are in the dark about what's happening. So they're going to react a little bit more naturally and not let that power of suggestion take over. You can also introduce a double blinding also with the people who are administering the experiment. So you could have a couple groups of people, like these people are trying this, these people are trying that, and all I need you to do is do this, this, and this, and record this, and they don't know maybe even what the question is about. They don't know whether or not this group has the treatment or this group has a fake treatment, which we call a placebo, which is another way of trying to reduce that power of suggestion. But the more that you can keep the experiment performers and the subjects of the experiments in the dark about what the actual question is and which group they're in, the more natural results you're going to get, and you're going to get rid of some of that bias. So placebo, also, if you know that you're in the group that's not getting the treatment, you think, oh, well, I'm not getting the Red Bull, so I'm going to be slow, and then their mind makes them slower, right? So your placebo is a fake treatment, like a pretend Red Bull. It's not really Red Bull or something, but it tastes like it. But it actually doesn't have all the chemical properties of an energy drink, etc. Then, we'll see what actually happens with them, or maybe some people that don't get a drink at all and they didn't even know that the other groups were getting a drink, something like that. So let's imagine what we're going to do here. So we'll pick maybe one kind of energy drink, or maybe we want to pick a few different kinds of groups. So typically here, let's say we're going to have three groups, maybe three groups, and let's see, we want to make sure that our groups are big enough. We don't want to have just one person in each group, because then there's a lot of variability that gets introduced there. We want to make sure that we have a variety of different types of people that have been selected for this, and they're being assigned to these groups. So that we can measure lots of people's results at different ages and different genders and different lifestyles and what have you. So we're going to say 3 groups of random really depends on your resources about how many people you want to try and get involved. So I'm just going to throw in that number of 20 again, I guess, of 20 randomly selected. There's that randomly again, randomly selected. Sometimes, however, you can't get randomly selected participants because in an experiment, people have to consent to doing the experiment. You can't randomly select someone off the street and say, here, drink this and do this. They're like, no, go away. So if we can try and randomly, sorry, let me say, not randomly selected, we're going to say randomly assigned. So the people who have already said, yeah, I'll do it, they are saying they are not getting to choose which group they're in. They're just being randomly assigned and they don't even know which group they're actually in, if they're, you know, whatever. So 20 participants. And let's define our 3 groups. So your first group is going to be the one with an energy drink. And then the next one will have a fake energy drink. That's your placebo. So it's like not a real energy drink, but it kind of tastes like it. So then people are thinking, oh yeah, this is Red Bull. Something's going to happen here. Energy drink. And then the third group is going to get nothing. Maybe they get just water, or maybe they get nothing at all. So, and then this we're going to call your placebo. That's your fake treatment. And it's actually crazy, the placebo effect, how many people in that group would perform much better because they think that what they are getting is going to make a difference. Power of the mind is such a crazy thing. So the last one's either going to be nothing or maybe just water. So now we have to talk about exactly what we are doing to randomly assign the participants into these 3 groups. So we should have 60 people total, and we want even groups. So perhaps we're going to do something like you could make a random number generator if you want to assign the numbers 1, 2, or 3 to each person that walks up. Say, okay, random number generator is a 2, so you're going to group 2. Don't tell them what it is, right? Don't say you're going to the fake energy drink group. No, just say, nope, you're in group 2. Random generator, you're in group 1. The only thing with doing that is that you might get uneven groups. I mean, if you don't tell the random number generator to make equal groups, it could just assign like 50 people in group 1 and 9 people in group 2 and 1 person in group 3, because that's just random, right? It might be better to do something like have 3 different types of slips of paper in a box or a hat or something. And so you would have 21s, 22s, and 23s, and then people are just reaching their hand in the box. And they're like, oh, I'm group 3. Okay, I'm going to group 3. And then when you've run out, you're out, and there's not going to be any sort of duplicates or uneven groups. So for this random assignment, we are going to do, let's see here, we are going to do a 60 slips of paper. Of paper in a hat. And a hat. And then participants choose 1. Participants. Oh, boy, my handwriting. I'm going to say pick, and I don't want you to think like they are picking which group they go to. They are just picking one here. So I'm going to put the little star, like here's how we're doing that randomly randomly assigned thing right here, right? That's how we're doing it. And then after that, we want to make sure that this is like a double blind. So no one knows which treatment they're getting, if they're getting the real energy drink, if they're getting the fake energy drink. They don't even want to know that like this is about energy drinks and reaction time. So we're going to say double blind. And the double is also the people who are performing the experiment on the subjects. So we just want to say, okay, they're in group 2, make them drink this and then record this, but don't even say what it is about. Just say like, hey, we want to see if this happens, if people get faster when they drink energy drinks. Don't even say that. So just say double blind and then record. And now you in the background is like the experiment master, can know what's going on, but then everyone else is just like following orders, right? So record time to maybe, gosh, it could be anything like trying to catch something and throw something back really fast. I really like the one that's about like typing or texting. Record time to type out a set text message or something. Because then you're seeing, because usually you'd get faster and faster, right? And you don't want to say, oh, send a text message and just like someone sends hi and someone else says, hey, how are you doing today? You want to make sure it's like, I want you to type out these three sentences or something like that to set text message. And then you should be able to kind of see if before and after, if that like makes a difference. So you could do something like this. You could also do a before and after type of experiment. Like maybe you have all the same people, like 50 people or something, and you record how long it takes them to do one particular task. Then you give them the energy drink, and then you wait for them to ingest it and, for it to get into their bloodstream, and then you have them do the exact same thing again. Sometimes that'll create some bias in the fact that their double exposure of doing this task just makes them naturally faster. So if it's a set text message, it's like, oh yeah, I've already sent that 10 times. Now I'm going to be even faster because I already have experience with that activity. So I kind of like randomly assign participants to different groups and then make sure it's double blind, and then what is it you're actually recording. But of course, the most important thing here, that it is going to be randomly assigned. That helps to reduce a ton of bias. So you want to make sure that you describe what that actually is. What are you doing? This could be using a random number generator or rolling a dice or picking something from a hat, are popular ones. You also want to think about if uneven groups are okay, or if you want even groups. So usually even groups for an experiment is kind of more along the lines of what you go for. But as long as it has been randomly assigned to treatments, then you are good.